It is a masterpiece of light and shadow, a stylized look at a train pulling into LaSalle Street Station in 1918. The photo, called The Spirit of Transportation, is the work of King Daniel Ganaway, one of Chicago's most celebrated photographers of the 1920s and 30s. Ganaway was a pioneering African American who freelanced for the Chicago Daily News and the Chicago Herald American, and was the staff photographer for the Chicago Beat, a black weekly. In his day, Ganaway's pictures of industrial Chicago were considered among the best in the nation, winning photo contests against legendary photographers like Edward Weston and Man Ray.
Just a wide variety of shows a broad outlook, a broad spectrum of photography, widespread creativity.
But by the time of his death in 1944, Ganaway was all but forgotten, and most of his photos and negatives were lost and continue to be missing to this day. What's worse, his family attempted to hide his name and his legacy from his descendants. Ganaway married a Swedish immigrant in 1904. When the two divorced in the 1920s after having only one child, the family never spoke of Ganaway again and attempted to hide his race from his grandchildren and his great-grandchildren.
My whole life, I was called a half-breed, or, and I never knew for sure what I was.
But now, after years of family research, Ganaway's descendants have found out about their famous black ancestor and are ready to reclaim their heritage.
You haven't been able to truly own who you are because you did not know about a key ancestor. Your maternal grandfather and your great-grandfather was a mystery. So you did the work. You got skipped, and you discovered King Daniel Ganaway.
Christmas is just at my house, and these guys come.
Recently, they held a reunion at a high-rise on the north side of Chicago, where one of Ganaway's great-grandchildren lives. These descendants of King Ganaway, who live in the Chicago area and Indiana, talked about how they found out about their celebrated ancestor.
I was doing genealogy for whatever reason online. I had a 30-day trial to Ancestry.com, and when I found out and saw my grandmother Lucille listed as their child, and she was listed as black and King was black, that's when I learned about the whole black thing.
I knew the name Ganaway because my mother told me that Pauline, my great-grandmother's last name was Ganaway, and I thought she was the photographer. And so when I began to do genealogy research, I had that name and I had Pauline's name, and I found out, wow, he's African American.
Wow.
I'm the eldest of 5 children, and King Ganaway was my great-grandfather on my mother's side. King died in 1944, 2 years before I was born. Growing up, I was told that he was a famous photographer and he was Costa Rican. That's all I could pry out of my mother.
They uncovered a classic American rags-to-riches story. Ganaway was a butler on the Gold Coast who taught himself the art of photography.
I just felt such a connection with him because I'm creative and I'm intelligent, and I just felt this was what was missing in our family.
The day after the reunion, Ganaway's family hit the South Side to see the photographer's old haunts. They went to the old offices of the Chicago Bee, where Ganaway once worked, which is now a public library. And they visited Lincoln Cemetery in Blue Island, where the photographer is buried.
We come right now celebrating King Daniel Ganaway, who to us we just consider to be a jewel in the midst of the family.
The pastor for Bethel AME Church, Ganaway's old Southside church, said a prayer for the family. And family members talked about getting together more often, and most importantly, locating more of Ganaway's legendary photos.
I say to you, family, we need to ensure that his name is added to that great list of those people in Bronzeville. We should tell his story because he did not let tremendous circumstances prevent him from creating beautiful photos.